The following stories are based on personal experiences and opinions. Names and details may be changed to protect privacy. The content is for entertainment purposes only.
Drama, betrayal, and the stories you won't believe.
Welcome to our X-Files. Hi friends, welcome back to our X-Files. If you're new here, hi, we're glad to have you. This is where we're going to share the wild, messy, and unbelievable stories about exes and relationships that you won't hear anywhere else. Okay, Kristina, are you ready to share with us your story today?
Yes, I am. But first, I want to start with just making a small note that because my stories involve my husband's ex and they have 2 children together, I want to make sure that my message is spread with no hate, no gossip, just real stories, real growth that did happen and the lessons that came with it so that I can provide hope and healing for the ones going through it now. Because this story is my personal experience and perspective, it reflects how events felt to me and what I was told at the time. This involves CPS, so I have to give that disclaimer. What if giving your child apple juice around a campfire was twisted into a CPS investigation about alcohol and guns? What would you think?
I would think that was really weird.
Yeah. Does it sound like a good CPS case? Apple juice?
No, it just sounds like someone wanting to press charges against you for no reason. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. So my husband, he used to every year take the boys on, I'd call it glamping because they didn't really hunt, but they would go hunting, glamping, whatever with his friends. And it wasn't really about the hunting. Like I said, it was more about the camping, the fires, the bonding, the food, the drinks around the fire, just having a nice time together, all boys. One night, all of them are sitting around the campfire and they're all having whiskey, all the adults are. And whiskey looks pretty dark in a cup, right? And one of the boys that was there, one of my husband's sons says, "Oh my gosh, you guys are all having that. I want that, Daddy." So my husband, he's like, "Okay, no problem." He gets up and he pours apple juice into a cup because it looks the same. And he gives it to that boy. And that boy is so excited and so feeling like he's bonding with all the guys. They're all drinking the same color drink and having talks and talking ghost talks and crazy fun stories about Bigfoot. They're all sitting around the campfire having good food. I mean, they stay up pretty late and they tell stories and they really do a lot of bonding. They sleep in this huge tent with actual beds. And I haven't seen it, but it sounds pretty.
It sounds like a fun time.
It sounds pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he felt so included. And my husband, the whole time, everyone knew it was apple juice. Everybody, of course, naturally. I mean, I'm thinking at the time he was probably about 6. Of course, apple juice, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
but he just wanted him to feel included and part of the boys.
Yeah. And so it was innocent, it was safe, and it made him feel like one of the guys. So later, when we did the residential exchange, it was his mom's time to pick him up from the house because receiving parent provides transportation. So she came to pick him up, or them up, and at the door, he was like, "Oh, I had whiskey with all the boys, And
he was probably so excited. He was probably so excited to tell his mom about the story.
Yeah, so excited. And he felt like one of the guys and he couldn't wait to tell her. And she's at our front door. And my husband winked. And then when he walked away to the car to go put his backpack in there, I was standing right there. My husband said, "Don't worry, it was apple juice. We just let him think he was having whiskey." And she's like, "Oh, that's so nice. How sweet." So she knew and we knew and everyone knew. Because he was like, "If he says he had that drink, don't worry, you know what it is, right?" So we made sure we clarified. But weeks later, this whole thing was spun around and it became something it never, ever should have. Because what happened was, it was midday. She called my husband and said, "Hey, I need to meet you at Starbucks right now. I have to tell you something." And my husband's like, "Is it okay if Kristina comes?" Because anytime they talk, they fight. It's just, it never ends good. So I was there to listen and help, hopefully. Because I always did want to have a relationship with the mom, make sure the kids are okay, right? And we were sitting at a table outside. And she's like, "I just wanted you to know, I talked to my told her that you gave X person, whiskey at a hunting event with your friends where you guys shoot and things like that. And opened up a CPS case, so they'll be calling you soon. And good luck with that."
Okay, but I guess my question here is why she would even mention this to the when clearly she knew that it wasn't actually whiskey, it was in fact apple juice, because you straight up told her that when she picked him up.
I know. I have no idea.
So maybe she just needed some attention?
I guess.
I don't get it.
I know. I will never understand why that occurred in that way. Yeah.
Interesting.
But, yeah. So it's true. The CPS knocks at our door. We let them in. And for 6 months, we had an open case against us, and it was inside of our home. They would just show up randomly. Interviews had to be had with all 4 of our kids. So even the potential that like my 2 children could be taken away from me because of false accusation really was not sitting well, like with me, that would ever be a case. I mean, because if the child, which he did believe he had whiskey, if the child kept saying that, I mean, I didn't know what would come of it, but I could lose my kids, who knows, right? But so much fear into my home and into my life and into my husband's over something he knew wasn't true. And then we had CPS breathing up and down our back for 6 months. And even interviewing our kids was, I mean, they were all scared, all of them. It was brutal. Like the fact that the kids had to go through all of that too. I don't know if they remember it, but it wasn't okay. They did inspections of our house, and every time, literally, this caseworker, because we told the caseworker what really happened. We told the caseworker the conversation at the door. So this caseworker became more of like an ally for us in the end, because like when the caseworker would leave, they would apologize and say, I know this is bogus. I'm sorry I had to show up. I'm sorry I had to do my, interviews with the kids again. But it was probably the 3rd visit that this started happening, because she was like, your house is spotless. You guys are great kids. You're great parents. Your kids seem super healthy and happy. All of this stuff.
The story just wasn't adding up.
Yeah, nothing's adding up here, and so I think we're going to have to close this case. And I was like, thank God, but they still had to keep it open for 6 months, I guess. But we knew it was getting close, so we were like so thankful. And when they came, they more like just had tea and hung out for a second, left just to say they were there. But the lesson that I take away from this is when someone is determined to like weaponize systems against you, like CPS is a system that you use to help you. It's supposed to help families keep children safe, keep families safe, protect children. It's a system that's there and in place for good. But when it's
abused in this way, then it's actually taking the time away where they should be using the CPS workers for people that actually need it.
I like that 100%. I totally agree. Like they could have been using their time somewhere else. And, the innocence of what my husband did, and like the loving nature that was his action of giving his son apple juice, and his son still believing he had whiskey. I mean, he probably still believes it till this day, because, he believes whatever his dad told him at the time, and later, like finding out that this would be a huge problem like that,
unfortunately took away a bonding experience between your husband and his son that was meant to be special, and took that away and used it basically as a weapon against him to try and hurt him and hurt that memory that, about their camping trip.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's really sad.
Yeah, and put him through interviews with CPS and the other kids through interviews.
All the kids.
Yeah, we weren't even allowed to be present at these interviews. They had to conduct them in different rooms. So I didn't even know what they were saying or what they were asking. And I was probably like 25 at the time, maybe 26.
I was young.
I was so young. So it's very scary. And my husband was never scared. He's never shaken. He's always like, don't worry. I think he even said to her, like after she said good luck, he's like, I don't need luck. I'm not worried.
Because he did nothing wrong.
Yeah. He knew. And I was like, oh my God, like they could take our children, even if, I know this didn't happen, but even if they think or suspect they did, like I won't have kids anymore and la da da da. Like I honestly was scared to death, but
I can't even imagine.
It was awful. So, but when someone shows you their truth, by doing things like this, you can still have a way of surviving, this hardship and investigations, and surviving, the terror of what comes of someone's actions that are so ill-timed or ill-willed, Yeah. So if anybody out there listening could possibly relate to like a CPS story or the system working properly and doing their job, just know that they will see your truth. Just hold on to your safe space and your hope, and keep your kids grounded, because it is a scary time, and don't let that person ever take power over you, and proceed with caution moving forward, because guess what? This wasn't the only time that this happened. It happened again later about something else, which I'll share on another episode because it's a long story. Once it happens a few times, they'll be flagged in the system. Let's just say that. So just know it doesn't last forever. You will come out stronger, and you and your husband or spouse, you'll come out literally better than before because you have to hold on to each other through that time. And your kids are gonna, I mean, all 4 of the kids clung to me like crazy because they were like, why did you do that? You know?
Yeah,
and
they
I
probably didn't understand it. They were so young.
And I just stuck, I literally was like, I'm not sure, but I don't think she meant to. I think she might have thought you had alcohol. I'm so sorry. You know, like, because I had to protect her image to them. And I had to protect the unit that I wanted us to eventually have one day. So always be the bigger person. Let that be the lesson. Be the bigger person. Don't let someone put fear into you because of their insecurities or them trying to like tear you apart. So that's my message. What's yours today, Elise?
You know when life decides to drop truth in your lap at the most random times? This story is when that happened to me. So here's the scene. My car was in the shop. So I was driving my boyfriend's other car at the time. It was just a casual night, and I was driving his car, like I said, because mine was in the shop, but he had multiple vehicles. So I went there to meet him after work, and I met him there. His kids were also there. We just had a fun family night bowling.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it was just nothing out of the usual. It just seemed like a normal night. But when we left, I was driving home, and it was in Puyallup, like I said. So there's a stoplight, and it was red. So I stopped, I had my blinker on, and next thing you know, I just hear through his Bluetooth, I could hear a girl talking. And I'm like, what is going on? And she's like, hey, babe, how was bowling? And I'm thinking, what the fuck? So yes,
What?
his car I was
Wait,
in.
where were his kids? Were they with him or you?
No, they were driving at this time.
Okay, so they're older kids.
Yep, older kids also met us at the bowling.
So they didn't hear this conversation then.
They did not hear
Thank
this
God.
conversation. Yeah, thank
Okay.
God. So I am in his car. He's right
my
behind me at
God.
the stoplight, and I'm hearing this conversation coming through the Bluetooth. And she's like, hi, babe, how was bowling? Blah, blah. And he must have figured out quickly that the car was connected or something was wrong. And then he's got the phone disconnected right away. He probably just got the phone off Bluetooth or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So I'm sitting there at the stoplight thinking, I am raging pissed.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, do I actually go? What do I do right now? Because, did I mention that we live together? So
No
I'm on
way.
my way home to our home where we live. And I know his kids are going to be there. And I am just so mad right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, how am I going to go into this house, act like nothing's wrong without losing my shit?
Yeah. Did you recognize the voice?
I did not recognize the voice.
Okay.
I had no idea. And I honestly, I tried to wrap my head around who could be calling my boyfriend babe.
Yeah, absolutely. It would
Like-
be a girlfriend or maybe a mom. No.
It definitely was not
Baby?
his mom.
It'd be baby if it was a mom, right?
I
Hi,
have
baby.
no idea. All I know is when we got home, I had to act like nothing's wrong. I went into our bedroom. I was so mad. And then when he came in there, he acted like nothing was wrong. And I'm like,
Because he didn't know what happened.
I don't think he knew what had happened, or he maybe just was trying to play it down like, it was no big deal.
Yeah.
Because come to find out, he tried to tell me that it was one of his best friends named Jennifer. We're going to say her name was Jennifer. And I'm thinking, Jennifer? I have never heard him mention a friend named Jennifer, and we had been together 2 years. And
What the hell?
and
Okay.
so he made it sound like you are absolutely insane. You are so jealous. What is your problem? It's my friend Jennifer. We talk all the time. We say, I love you, all these things. Like he's acting like him and his best friend are like super close.
No
I've never
such thing as boys and girls being friends, by the way.
Well, and even if it were a thing, why have I never heard of this girl Jennifer?
Right.
I've heard of other friends
Wouldn't
he
you be
had.
her friend too then?
Yeah, wouldn't I have met her or
Yeah.
heard of her at least? Because he had
Exactly.
a lot of friends, and
Yeah.
he did have some girlfriends that were married and this and that, and I had met them.
Yeah, but you guys are 2 years into this point.
And I had never heard
New
his
name, new person, never heard of her before.
Never heard of her. So then I'm just like, where am I gonna go? You know, at this point I'm questioning again my sanity here. Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Is this really his friend? Do I pack up my life and leave this guy?
Yeah.
Where am I gonna go? To my parents' house? I'm like 30 something years old.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
just like, what am I going to do? And I also don't want to, go to my parents' house and have to tell them this story because it's embarrassing. And
Yeah.
I don't want to blow my life up for nothing if it's really, in fact, his friend. But it was weird because obviously I'm like, let me see your phone. There's no text messages from this person. I mean, he had deleted everything. So obviously I knew something was up. So then the following day, I am honestly going through everywhere on Facebook trying to find out if there's a Jennifer anywhere that could possibly be his friend.
Right.
And there's no Jennifer.
Yeah.
There's no Jennifer to be found anywhere. So clearly he was obviously cheating on me.
Yeah.
But it did
Because you don't delete people that are real. If you had a real conversation with a real friend, why would you delete it?
Right.
Yeah.
But he wanted to make me seem like I was crazy or that I had nothing to worry about. When in fact, I mean, come to find out a while after that he was cheating on me, but I didn't have proof at the time.
Oh my God. Did you stay?
Yes.
So you stayed until you found proof.
I stayed until I found proof. And I'm obviously not proud of that. But at that point in time, I didn't have solid evidence that he was cheating on me. Mm-hmm. So I was waiting for that solid proof. Yeah. And he made me question my sanity. Like I said, I was like, okay, well, maybe he's not cheating on me. Maybe it really is his friend Jennifer. Maybe,
yeah.
I know you're looking at me like,
well, because
right.
the babe, it's like, no.
I know.
Yeah.
But sometimes maybe people talk like that. I don't know. I was just telling myself all these stories that possibly, it could possibly be true that he's not a cheater.
Yeah.
Because, I mean.
You're like, why would he lie? Why would he keep this from me? We were just together with his kids and we lived together. Like,
yeah, why would he be calling his girlfriend on the way home from bowling? Maybe he was calling his friend back. I don't know. I had all these stories in my mind that I was trying to tell myself. So I could
and
believe
because you're such a loyal person, I know that you see it through till the very, very end. Because you don't want to look back and go, well, I didn't need to leave. He wasn't cheating on me. It's all my fault. You want to have proof, evidence, and like you want to have a complete closure knowing that you were correct and you were valid for leaving.
Yeah, I feel like I always need solid proof, or I don't like to give up on people easy. So I want to stick by their side no matter what. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to second guess my decisions. I have a really hard time, making a decision without that proof. And that was exactly that same case. I had done this with this specific boyfriend multiple times.
Yeah.
So
that's why he wanted to string you along forever, because you're like the best girlfriend ever.
Believing all of his lies?
Yes.
No, it's probably because I was taking care of his kids while he was out there cheating on me. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I'm sure that's what it was, really.
That too, but I mean, you're a good person and he sees that and he's like, wow, she'll believe anything I say because she is such a loyal human, and I'm such a shithead. I can just keep doing this.
Right. So, I mean, looking back, I should not have believed his lies. Mm-hmm. But
because your intuition knew, and it does every time.
I know, but I don't know why I keep doing this all the time in my past.
Well, you don't do it anymore.
I know, but I did. Okay, yeah, I guess you're right. I don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I did
You
this.
listen to your gut now, which is why you're happy now.
Yes, that's true. But for years,
decades.
I was putting up, decades, I was putting up with terrible, terrible men in my life.
Yeah.
So if you've been with someone for years and suddenly a brand new friend just pops up that you've never heard of, it's not a coincidence. It's a cover-up. And the truth will always make itself known, whether it's through cracks in the story, timelines not matching up, or in my case, through a Bluetooth connection.
Yeah.
And the biggest lesson is your gut is never lying. And if you feel like something's off, it probably is. So if you're ever made to feel like you're imagining things, I hope that this story reminds you that your intuition is powerful and that you deserve to be trusted.
I love that. Yeah, you do. That's so valid, so real. And everything that you've been through has led you to where you are, so now that you've been through all of this mistrust, you trust completely in the marriage you are in now because you know your intuition. You trust yourself.
Yes. And I have to remind myself that the truth literally speaks louder than the lies. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, the truth will always come out.
Yeah. Don't ever let someone, the full message of both of our stories today is he used and abused, mm-hmm. And in my situation, it was very similar, like the lies, that occurred. It was like an abusive type of situation as well. And we both ended up coming out stronger, me and you. Our intuition is fucking correct. We know who's a good person back in the day. We at the time, we knew who was a good person at the time mm-hmm. or not. And the people listening, if you feel in your gut like someone has it out for you or someone's not being honest with you, trust that and guard yourself. Walk away if you need to. Like, don't stay in a relationship where you can be in the same cycle again, or don't stay, allowing someone to control fear and steal it into yourself. Like, you have the power to rise above that, and you have the power to become your biggest support and your biggest voice, like in your situation too,
Yeah, absolutely.
You walked away.
I feel like the signs were there.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, if I felt like I needed the proof, but my gut was, my compass, and I knew the direction I needed to go, and it was to leave, but I should have trusted that, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So I feel like if anyone that's listening, that's what they need to do. They need to trust their gut mm-hmm. and know that you deserve better, and you don't need to be made to feel that you're crazy.
Amen. Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Yeah. No, because like literally every time, it's always the narcissistic abuse.
Yes.
Where you're like, no, you didn't hear that, or oh, it's a friend, or oh, it's this and that. And in your gut, your compass, just like you said, it navigates you through everything you know, and your loyalty to the person you're with always overrides it. But eventually the truth comes out always. But you don't have to wait. You don't have to like be so loyal. You don't have to choose that route. You could choose to say, no, thanks, I don't want to worry.
Yeah, and choose yourself.
Yeah.
Choose your own happiness.
Learn from this and do what she's saying.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're going to do that. Choose your own happiness. Choose your truth and what you believe in your mind. If someone else is out there telling you that you're wrong, you overheard something incorrectly, don't question yourself or your sanity because they're lying to you.
Yeah.
They're trying to flip the script so that you look crazy.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to look back and go, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have, left that person. Because the fact that you're with that person, you have to question all the time, that's enough to leave.
Yeah, that's actually a powerful statement right there.
Yeah.
If you have to question the person you're with, that is enough to make
There
you
you
leave.
go. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to our X-Files. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
If you've got a wild story about your ex, we want to hear about it. Send us your anonymous submission through the link in our bio to be featured on a future episode.
The crazier, the better. And don't worry, your identity is safe with us. Until next time, keep those X-Files coming. Bye.
Bye.